how to increase your Replay TV recording capacity. And Joshua's going to show you his favorite new games announced at E3. Plus, Bert Monroy's here with a rusty Photoshop trick. Live from the Tech TV studios in San Francisco.
Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us on the Screensavers. This is the place where you can be sure to get live product demos, interviews, tips and tricks, and of course, the very best in computer help.
Ladies and gentlemen, plus it's jam-packed tonight. Photoshop extraordinaire, well, we should say Photoshop expert extraordinaire, Bert Monroy is in the house with another amazing technique. We've got more highlights from E3. Joshua, you're like double booking, you're double dipping on the show.
All over the place today. I've got my favorite games from E3, which aren't the most popular games, perhaps. Or the most well-known, but I have those, and then I'm going to show you
things you think we should know about from
that's
E3,
right.
but we're not going to hear about
hidden
other places,
gems,
exactly.
if you will.
Hidden gems, exactly.
Like that. That's good.
Yeah, and then I'm going to show you how to upgrade your Replay TV for cheaper than you can to buy a bigger one from the store.
Very cool. So a Replay TV
Saves some
hack.
cash.
That's right, a hack.
Very good.
Yeah.
And, of course, we got live questions being answered.
Dan has the number and his new toy.
I got a new toy today, or yesterday. I got the Sony DSC T1. Not so bad.
Have you paid off your overpriced graphics card
No, he
yet?
has not.
Did you put this on the same credit
He
card?
did indeed.
You're not setting a good example for our nation's children.
I'm sorry.
You're like the debt monster.
You're getting him in trouble. His mom right now is probably so mad.
Well, Mom's
She
like,
didn't
well,
know.
he shaved. He shaved, and he didn't know. Look, this is the new camera I bought yesterday.
Yeah,
His mother knows now.
Yeah, but he told him that he paid off the graphics card.
You lied to your mother.
Well, let me tell you, I have a debt fund. If you want to give me money, it's 888-989-7879. And if you want to give me support, it's the screensavers at techtv.com. There you go.
And if people want to, forget it.
Let's start off with the tech news that caught our eye today. Sarah has the first story.
I think it's very convenient that Dan also left out his last phone bill, which was $650.
Oh.
Yeah, I gave you. Sorry,
People think,
Sue.
what?
Can we get a round of applause for the long-distance relationship phone call record?
There we go.
What can I say?
If you've had a higher phone bill due to a long-distance relationship, email us at the Screensavers. No, actually,
Well, that's from
we should
three.
have said
Dan has
Sarah
three different long-distance relationships. He's juggling, if you will. Yeah.
Oh.
And the graphics card, and the new camera.
And a new camera.
Sarah at techtv.com. We want to hear about those monster phones.
No, we don't. I don't want to know. All right, moving on to the news now. 13 companies from Japan, the United States, Europe, and South Korea have joined together to form a new organization called the Blu-ray Disc Founders to help promote the Blu-ray optical disc and to compete against the rival HD DVD. Sony and Samsung are two of the high-profile companies that are participating.
This is interesting.
Yeah.
Because the whole HD DVD thing I thought was going to be the next standard.
Right.
But then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, all these companies are getting together.
Right.
And they're saying, no.
So since time immemorial, it's like there's a new tech standard, whether it's like 56K modems or 33K modems
Right.
or CDR or whatever it is. Well, not CDR, but like DVDR/-R/-R.
Or DVD Plus.
Right. And now, once again, when everybody's like, well, should I buy DVD burner now, or should I wait until the next standard comes out, or should I buy that? And it's like, once again, we've managed to completely divide the industry. At least
It's all about the money.
At least it's not quite an even split this time. It's like a 13 companies versus 2 companies kind of thing right now.
It's interesting they're jumping bandwagons back and forth. Like the Plus and the Dash.
Right.
Apple was always Dash for the longest time. And then Microsoft started pushing the Plus, and then all of a sudden Apple's like, hey, we'll do Plus too. It's like, you're seeing this thing happen. We're going to see it again.
Yeah. I mean, it's good for consumers if everybody has one standard, and it would be even better for consumers if it was the best, most functional, highest performing standard. But it just seems to be whoever piles on whoever has the most momentum wins.
Very true.
So, hopefully Blu-ray will actually ship. It'd be really funny if, like, Blu-ray is delayed while these 13 companies are like, Blu-ray, just wait for Blu-ray. So I think it's going to be whoever gets the market first is going to have a huge advantage.
That's true. We will see. We will see.
Bring back the LP. Windows, contrary to popular belief, Windows isn't the only OS with holes. A new security exploit has been found in Mac's OS X. The hole could potentially allow hackers to run Unix commands via a web browser exploit. The scriptable Mac Help Viewer can be launched via web link and will execute any Unix code embedded within the link. The exploit works with all browsers, including Safari, IE, and Firefox.
This is pretty crazy because there's actually a demo that you can download and test out yourself. Scott Moschella, who's behind the scenes here at the Screensavers, he was telling us that you launch the link, it opens a shell, a terminal, which, as everyone knows, based on OS X, is based on BSD. That is like the heart of your system, and you can execute any command from that shell prompt.
There's definitely two things going on here. One is the fact that this is a definite problem. It's definitely Apple's fault because it's related to the help file system inside of OS X. And Apple's been like, well, no one's really exploited it. It's not, I mean, people started warning them about this back in February.
I was going to say,
and they're still not fixed. However, if you want to go outside, we've got links up on the show notes. And what's interesting is you're going to need a program called More Internet, and we'll post the links to download that and how to basically patch your system so you're not going to be able to be subject to this.
It's just another one of those cases of they knew about the hole, why didn't you fix it? Apple?
Steve?
Talking to you.
Yeah.
He's not watching.
Well, if anybody sees Steve, tell him we're miffed. And, you know, someday we're both going to buy Apple notebooks, then we'll really be miffed.
That's right. But not today.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're welcome. Have yourself a lovely show. Happy Hump Day.
Woo-hoo. Woo. Justin.
On the Tech TV Netcam Network.
From Hughesville, Pennsylvania.
How you doing?
Good. How you doing, Justin?
Not too bad.
What can we help you out with today?
Yeah, I was wondering what does System Restore do, and if it can get rid of spyware and adware.
Ooh. Well, it's not what I would use to remove. Do you have like some sort of spyware or adware or nasty little program in there that Spybot Search and Destroy won't remove or adware won't remove, Justin?
Yes, I do.
What is it?
It's a file that's hidden, and it says Gator on it, but normally it lets everything get rid of it, but now it's not. I tried Spybot and I tried adware.
That could be because Gator claims and sues vigorously over the fact that Gator is not spyware.
Right. So what have you tried so far? Just give us a rundown. You've tried adware, you've tried Spybot Search and Destroy. Are those the only two you've gone up there and used?
Yeah, so far they're the ones that I've found.
I know that
have worked.
A lot of people are reporting good things about the McAfee anti-spyware application, which you can download a free trial of, which is supposedly, the cool thing about this one is it detects things in real time. It reads your memory just like a virus scanner will, and when something's about to be installed on your machine, it halts everything and then removes the spyware and or adware that is being installed. You might want to give that a try. Also, Pat, you have some recommendations for stuff like this.
Yeah, I mean, in theory, right, Gator, you should have Gator in your system because Gator changed their name to Claria a while back. If you do a search for Gator on Google, there's a bunch of different sites that will tell you how to get rid of it. Have you ever run System Restore, Justin?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, so you actually have it up and running on your system?
Yep.
The problem is that it sounds a lot better than it actually is, at least in my experience. So if basically if you have System Restore turned on, what it does is monitor your main disk. Running it can be a tremendous pain because you basically have to launch a control panel, and it goes to like a last known good configuration like they used to do in Windows NT in 2000. You could try it.
It's going back to an old registry and going back to some. It's rolling back some of the changes that you've done.
It shouldn't touch your data. In theory, it shouldn't really touch your installed applications. What it will do is roll stuff backwards. You can try it, Justin, but you're probably better off doing a search on Google and figuring out how to manually remove. Hijack this, Yoshi holds up a sign, how to manually remove Gator. Let's check on that.
It's a good application. Yoshi recommends Hijack This. So you might want to do a search on Google for that. He said it's a really good application that he's used in the past.
All right.
So those are two options to give a try, and we always do Ghost when we back our systems. At least I do. I Ghost image. Do you still do that? Is that how you're making primary images of your system?
Pretty much. Actually, I mean, the truth is like there's only one system that I do all my experimentation on, like one system.
Keep it separate from your work stuff?
Exactly.
Yeah, same here.
The rest of them I just blow out and rebuild constantly. Yoshi, is it Hijack This is an application name?
Yeah, you can get it on download.com.
Download.com. Cool.
Okay.
Thanks for the call, Justin, and of course you get a TSS t-shirt.
Because you were on a netcam.
Yes, indeed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're just getting started. Photoshop artist Burt Monroy is going to show you how to give your art a rusty look. It's very cool. And after the break, well, yesterday we gave you the hottest announcement, E3. Today, Bertano's back with his personal favorite games you might not hear about anywhere else from E3, the gaming convention. Coming up with the Screensavers continues.
We sent Joshua down to E3 last week, where you showed us just the hottest releases, the PSP, Doom 3,
Doom 3, Half-Life 2.
But today,
out of my hidden gems,
your favorite picks.
Right.
All right, let's take a look. So far,
at E3, we've seen some of the biggest announcements. Half-Life 2, Doom 3D, Nintendo DS, but the next games I'm going to show you are some of my picks. They may not have the best graphics engine, they may not be from the biggest developer, but I like them. This might be one of my favorite games here at E3 this year. I started with Leisure Suit Larry and the Land of the Lounge Lizards, looking for love in all the wrong places, Passionate Patty in pursuit of pulsating pectorals, and on and on. Now it's Magna Cum Laude. Tell us about the game.
All right, Leisure Suit Larry Magna Cum Laude is an update to the series. You're playing as Larry Lovitch. He's the nephew of Larry Lapper from the original series. He's a college student. He's hopeless in love, just like his uncle was. When we designed Leisure Suit Larry, we designed a number of mini games. As you can see, I'm steering the sperm icon, and as I hit green icons, that chooses what Larry says. If I say the right thing, Sally Mae likes me more, and my heart meter goes up. If I say the wrong thing, Larry says something really stupid, and my heart meter goes down. Here we have the Tapper game. In this case, Charlotte, who's the activist on campus, wants Larry to distribute flyers to people about monkeys and monkey rights.
So when can we see this game? When can I buy it?
Leisure Suit Larry Magna Cum Laude will be on store shelves in October of 2004.
Now, lucky for us, we ran into the gentleman who does the voice of Leisure Suit Larry, Tim Ditto. All right, where are the girls, man? Cut it out! If you've ever wanted to take over the world, this is the game for you. Tell us about Evil Genius.
Okay, you're basically playing the role of an evil genius. We've got 3 evil genius characters in the game. The sort of next part is training your minions. So once you've trained up these characters, you've got their special skills, you send them around the world on missions. Missions are to steal objects and to bring them back to the base. They'll kidnap pop stars, they'll steal works of art, they'll bring them back onto the island. And that's when my technicians will research them, and the research will give me components that I can use to make my world domination, my master plan, my doomsday device.
When can I buy it? When's it on the shelves?
We're shipping September 28th.
I think it's pretty obvious behind me. That's the LucasArts, the big, huge screen they have running back there. They have some big Star Wars titles. They have Republic Commando and Star Wars Battlefront that are coming out. They look really good. They're first-person shooters for consoles, but I think LucasArts made a huge mistake when they canceled the Sam & Max reunion game that was coming out. They canceled it not too long ago, and so when I was really looking forward to these Star Wars games, they'll keep making them forever and ever. We'll always see Star Wars, but I was really wishing for Sam & Max. I don't know about you guys, but I consider Bikini Bottom my second home. If you can believe it, on the Game Boy Advance, you can watch SpongeBob SquarePants to your heart's content. This might be the best game ever made. As you all know, I have a bit of a pirate fetish. I love pirates. I've been playing it since 1987. You said it's been around 17 years.
Yes, that's right. Originally on the Commodore 64,
Yes.
and it was also ported to 5 systems after that. The first thing that you'll see is that we still have it's an open-ended Caribbean world where we can sail around the entire Caribbean and do whatever we want. What's new about this is that obviously it's in a 3D world. Also, the fact that I can battle against 2 guys at once. It was always one-on-one in the original game. Right now, I'm just going to go in and get into a sword fight.
Ooh.
I can jump and duck, I can thrust and parry, and I can have high and low attacks. If I'm doing really well, my crew's morale is very high, so they fight very well. They whittle his crew down a lot faster. We added the ability to dance with the governor's daughter. She's giving me signals with her hands to tell me which way to go, and if I follow along, then it makes her heart grow. If I hit perfect timing, then we do that little twirl right there, that little flourish, which makes her like me even more.
Right. Well, when can I get this game? When can I buy it?
It'll come out in November, just in time for Christmas.
So as usual, E3 is far too big to see in one day. My picks, the 3 you've got to have: Leisure Suit Larry, Evil Genius, and Pirates. Check them out. I'm tired, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. I'm going home.
I can't believe that Leisure Suit Larry is coming out with another title.
That's number 8, I think.
That is so crazy. I remember that from way back in the day, the BBS days, and downloading Leisure Suit Larry
and
online.
CGA and EGA graphics even. E3 is huge-mongous.
Any other cool
ones?
ones?
It's amazing. City of Heroes is a massively multiplayer online role-playing game where you're superheroes. Mm-hmm. There is World of Warcraft, another MMORPG.
Is that an add-on or is that a new Warcraft altogether?
All together. Cool. And then actually they had a Far Cry Instinct for the consoles there that looks really cool too.
How does Far Cry look on a console, though?
It looks nice, but it's controlled situation. I don't know. It looks nice. Okay. It looks cool.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joshua. Now, still to come, our favorite Photoshop expert is back with another Photoshop technique you can impress your friends with. And up next, we'll troubleshoot a randomly rebooting laptop with our next caller. That's all when the Screensavers continues.
Register for tomorrow's Screensavers LAN party powered by NVIDIA. Go buy Unreal Tournament 2004 and practice, because that's the game we're playing. This week you're going to play the Assault game type, which we played a while back in the demo. The gist of this game is that one team defends a base while the other attacks it, then you switch sides and see if you can do any better. So go to our website right now, click on Join Our LAN Party to register. You've got to own the full version of Unreal 2K4 to play. We'll see you tomorrow for the LAN party. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Joshua. Now, Anthony joins us on the Tech TV Netcam network. Where are you calling from, Anthony?
I'm calling from Allentown, New Jersey.
Excellent. Is that near your hometown anywhere? You're in New Jersey, right?
I think it's at the opposite end. What part of the state is that in, Anthony?
Around central Jersey, around Somerset, Piscataway.
It's about an hour north, hour and a half north.
Cool.
How can we help you today, Anthony?
I have a Dell Inspiron 1100, and for no apparent reason, it just starts shutting down when I'm in the middle of doing work for school and stuff.
Now, are we talking rebooting, or are you talking like actually shutting down Windows itself?
Just no power, no nothing, just
turns off.
How long have you had the Inspiron, Anthony?
Since July of last year.
Has it traveled a lot in your backpack, made a lot of mileage, moved around a lot, been dropped on a lot of desks, kind of a feeling?
A little, but not too much.
I'll put it this way. Do you have the notebook anywhere nearby?
I have it across the other side of the room.
One of the things you might want to do is pick it up and kind of flex it in your hands. And if you can feel the actual physical case of the notebook flexing, it's probably there's a strong possibility that you've actually got loose connections in there. I've seen that actually happen where over time a notebook will loosen up, like literally screws will fall out of the bottom of the notebook, they'll loosen up, things will get loosened inside, and you'll shift it or you move it or you'll just happen to hit a part of the keyboard
Components flex wrong or they touch each other.
Exactly, and it'll kill the power to it.
Now, it's always hard to troubleshoot a random reboot, whether it be a desktop or a laptop, but there are some things that if you've done recently might be causing them, installing weird types of memory that has gone wrong or bad.
Yeah, or if I was gonna say, but it's funny because like a random reboot's almost easier to test than this because then you can see like do I have bad memory in the system? You run memtest 86. Right. Have I recently loaded a weird application? Do I need to unload it? Is it a virus? Is it a? But if your system's just going cold, black, and dead, it's almost always a hardware issue inside the box.
It works sometimes. Sometimes it doesn't. Like I'll be working and it'll be fine for like 2 weeks, and then like last weekend I was doing homework and I lost the whole report.
That's no good.
It sounds like you need to get in the habit of hitting like Control-S, Control-Save like every 30 seconds.
Or set the auto-save to just 1 minute, so every 1 minute it just automatically saves for you.
2, you're going to have to basically make sure the battery connection is good, that you got good battery power, make sure you're not, the cable's not coming out of the back, and make sure everything's nice and tight inside the notebook. That's about all you can do, Anthony.
Yeah, and I mean, you could try reinstalling the operating system just in case it is a software problem. Right. After that, you're going to have to call Dell and get on the phone and have a technician come take a look at it.
Yeah, hopefully it's still under warranty.
But we do have a T-shirt for you for being on. Isn't that nice?
You can use that to wrap your notebook in before you can throw it in the Raritan River. Which sounds like you're probably going to Rutgers if you're in Somerset. And there's a perfect bridge for it, too. You're tearing stuff up. I know. Anyhow, good luck, Anthony. Here's Sarah with a quick tip.
That's right. Astronomy lovers, listen up. There's a lot going on up there this year. For links to upcoming events like this summer's meteor showers plus solar and lunar eclipse dates, just go to thescreensavers.com/show notes. We put something good together for you. You can grab a blanket and your sweetie, lay back, and wish upon a star. Now, don't go anywhere. Joshua will be back to show you how to upgrade the hard drive in your Replay TV. Might come in handy. And after the break, create a rusted logo against concrete in less than 5 minutes. Our Photoshop guru, Bert Monroy, says you can do it when the Screensavers continues.
Welcome back to the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton. Coming up in this half hour, do you have a Replay TV? Do you want more space to record your favorite TV show? Joshua Brentano shows you how to double the capacity of your Replay. Plus, Leo joins us to show you how to use the terminal in Mac OS X to back up your files and see if USB 2.0 is in your future. We're going to tell our next caller how to install that on their system. But right now, once again, our resident Photoshop guru is here to show another wicked Photoshop trick. The one and only Bert Monroy.
Always good to be here.
Good to see you again, man.
Always good.
This is officially wicked cool.
Wicked, yes. Well, this is another one of these request things. People are always asking, how do you get rusty type? This is another one that I got now. So I decided, well, I'm going to combine it with a nice background to put the rusty type on top of. So we're going to start over with a nice blank screen as usual, right? And I'm going to give it a gradient right across here. I'm going to hold on my shift key to constrain. I'm going to throw a nice gradient right into that area there. And I'm going to give this a filter. I'm going to go to Texturizer, and under Texture, I got Texturizer here, and I'm going to give that little, just the default right there, and that's going to give it a nice little texture so it starts to look like stone, right?
Got it.
And layer right on top of that, I'm going to take my paintbrush, and I'm going to pick this, get this small guy right here, and I'm going to go into my brushes palette, and I'm going to give it a little variety. I'm going to go into my shape dynamics and give it a little size jitter, and you can see what's starting to happen down here. It's starting to make the line very uneven, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go draw right through here, this big crack right through the concrete, another one there, maybe a little one going across here and down. Then I'm going to make the brush a little smaller and just throw a bunch of other little cracks right inside here just to make it look real, right? Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give that layer a layer style of bevel and emboss. And here it is. And you can see right back there, I'm going to increase the depth so I get stronger lights and darks here. I'm going to turn off global lighting because I'm going to do something with other layers in different directions. Have that light coming from above, and we see the effect right there. And I click OK. So now we can start having these nice cracks going on there.
That's amazing.
Now, I'm going to take this brown here. I'm going to take my text tool, and here comes the text. So I'm going to type in the word Kevin. Now, I've used your name before. I've used everybody's name. I haven't used Kevin, so I figured I'd throw Kevin in there. Yeah. So let's make it a little bigger. Let's say 200 points right there. And what's really nice about the text tool is that you can do a lot of things with it, right? I can go in there and I can twist it. Let's just say we do a little scaling right here, do something like that. But what's really cool is that I can go in there and say layer type, create a work path. You see? Now, let's just turn this guy off. We don't need to see that. And let's turn these other guys off as well. Let's turn this off. And turn this off, and we'll turn off the crack so we can see just the background. And what's cool about the work path is that I can go in there and select a part of this path and move it around. So I can go in there and distort things, right? And once I have it, I can go in there and let's just say in this layer I can take that path and fill it. So I have a whole other bunch of text, right? So I've taken the liberty of going in here and creating my own, which looks like this. Wow. I took Kevin and really made it snazzy. Let's turn on our concrete again and put our cracks back in there. Oh, not that guy. There's our cracks right there. Now, I'm going to give that logo the same filter that we gave before, the Texturizer filter. And I'm going to go into the layer styles for that layer, right? So we'll go in here to layer styles, and this is where we're going to create all the effects that we want now. I'm waiting for layer styles to figure out what it's doing in that layer. There it is. Comes in. The first thing I'll do is give it a drop shadow. Now, I want this light to come from below, see? And since I had the global lighting turned off from the other one, it did affect my crack. So I'm going to go in there and just go from below, make it much darker, and increase the distance a little so it starts to give it a little more drama right back there. You can see it. Then I'm going to give it a bevel and emboss. And I'm going to say give it a chisel hard so it's really hard-edged. Increase that depth on that as well. And I'm going to change the color of that white and give it a nice kind of a golden color so I get this gold color going on back there. And then finally I'm going to give it satin. And satin is going to introduce all these nice little tones in there. What I'm going to do is give it a bright yellow color like that, and set this up to screen, and we can see what's going on back there. I'm going to change the contour to a really busy one like this. And we can see what's starting to happen to the text back there. You can see all this stuff happening. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to play around with the size until I get these nice little blotches going through there, just like that. So I get these nice little blotches, I can click OK. So now that we have our nice metal text going on there, now we want to age it. So we want to crumple it up, make it look kind of like in the Lord of the Rings, that kind of a thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that layer, and I'm going to give it a layer mask, hide all. See, it disappeared. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the text into a selection, and since I'm in the mask, I'm going to go ahead and fill it with white. So now we can see that we are now seeing the text. And I'm still in that mask, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to give the mask a filter. So I'm going to go into brush strokes and go over here to spatter, and you can see the spatter is going to give me all these rough edges over here. So when I click OK, my text is all broken up and all nasty there, and then I do this, and then we get this nice little text going on.
When I use Photoshop, it looks like an angry 4-year-old with crayons.
Well, all you got to do is read the tutorial online. It's all there.
Speaking of which, you're actually going on tour pretty soon.
Yeah, actually, starting in August, I'm going to be doing a different city each month all over the country. I'm going to travel around, spending a whole day teaching stuff.
So basically, people can sign up for a workshop and go to see you there?
Yes, it's going to be announced on my website. There's no announcement yet, as soon as I get the actual
Keep an
dates
eye on
and cities.
BertmanRoy.com. It'll be up.
It'll be there.
And you actually have CD tutorials that are being sold out.
Yes, I do, from lynda.com. Yeah, they've been, in fact, I'm going to go down and shoot a bunch more pretty soon on those.
So that's lynda.com.
That's right.
Bert, you're amazing.
Thanks.
Your books are amazing. You want to learn more about Photoshop? Buy the book. If you miss a step, Bert's got a detailed tutorial at the screensavers.com you should definitely check out. So there we are, ladies and gentlemen. Our next caller is looking for a USB upgrade for his laptop. Stick around. We're going to tell you what his options are. But after the break, in less than 20 minutes, you can double, triple, or quadruple your Replay TV recording capacity for less than buying a bigger one. Josh was going to show you when the Screensavers continue. Let's check in with the fine folks over at Tech Live to see what's coming up tonight.
Patrick, it's all about contracts, my friend. Contracts. You can find all sorts of contracts online, but a contract for sex, well, I don't know. That's interesting. Well, listen to this. You got sports stars, celebrities, and college guys worried about charges of rape. These sites claim to give you a binding legal contract to cover your, well, for lack of a better term, butt. Tonight on Tech Live, see why some couples are actually drawing up paperwork before the action begins, if you know what I mean. Of course, that's coming up right after the Screensavers, technology and shagging. We give it to you all, man.
Once again, Chris Leary has left me speechless and eagerly anticipating Tech Live, which comes up right after this show.
Least I can do. All right, Dave. Have fun.
Thank you. We'll, I'm just scared of that segment. Let's see what Kevin and Joshua are up to over in the lab.
We're up to a little hacking over
That's
here.
right.
You know, 160-hour replay TV would cost you over $400 if you were going to buy it in the store. But in less than 20 minutes, you can save over $150 by upgrading the hard drive yourself. Our in-house replay fanatic, Joshua Brentano, is going to show us exactly how it's done.
That's right. Step one, buy a replay.
Buy a replay. How much is a replay going to cost?
On Amazon right now, $111.09.
Okay.
For a replay.
$111.
$111.
That's cheap.
Yeah, the TiVo's are $120 after mail-in rebate, but you don't have to do that. But these are $111 for this.
Replay, for people that don't know, PVR, you allow you to record any shows that you want to watch, much like a TiVo.
Exactly.
Okay.
So let me prove it to you with a little math.
Okay.
Okay. The replay TV is $430.
Okay.
$430. $111 for the 40-hour.
Gotcha.
That's 160-hour. $111 for the 40-hour. What's my math? And then $149 for a 160-hour hard drive.
Okay.
You add that up, you get $260 minus $430. You get a savings of $170.
Nice. So it's better to do it yourself.
That's right. The math proves that it's better to do it
Save a lot
yourself.
of cash. Sesame
So the
Street
first
works for
step
you.
is to open up the replay. And there are a number of screws on here, some on the back, some on the side. Do watch out because there are exposed power supply parts there, so don't touch
That's always
those.
dangerous.
It might kill you or blow your eyeballs out or something like that. I don't know. Now, then the next step is you need to buy a hard drive, and any brand of hard drive will probably work.
Oh, this
People
is
have used
standard.
Western Digitals. They're standard ID
Yeah, I
hard
was going to
drives.
say, standard ID hard drive, nothing fancy here.
No, well, sort of, yes and no.
Okay.
Maxtor is, for the most part, the majority of TiVos and replays is the OEM hard drive manufacturer for the unit.
Any reason for that?
They got in on it early.
Okay.
So if you open it up, chances are you're going to find a Maxtor, but it's actually a special Maxtor called a QuickView drive.
I see that right here.
That's right. And it is a hard drive that is specially designed for streaming video and audio. It has specially tuned seek profiles and a 2 megabyte cache that's tuned to stream it.
Okay, so it's made for just this specific purpose.
For just this specific purpose.
Okay.
That's right. And it runs at 5400 RPM, which is important because the replays act really funky when they get too hot.
But you could probably put some fans in here with the 7200 RPM.
You absolutely could.
Have people done that?
They have. They put 7200 RPM drives in there with no problems, actually.
Any advantage to that, though? I mean,
they say they got performance.
Your videos
but
play a little
yeah,
faster.
play a little faster. No. They say there's a little bit of performance increase potentially with a faster drive. But I'm going the safe route with this Maxtor drive. The only place I know of to find these drives are at weeknews.com. And you can buy a hard drive that's ready to put in or a blank one that you can do yourself.
Weeknews is pretty much the hub for all things like PVR related.
Yes.
They have TiVo upgrades, replay upgrades.
Exactly.
Cool.
And so you can get all of that from Weeknews. Now, the first key is to remove the old drive. It's just some screws and a standard IDE cable. That cable right there. Just be careful that things are fragile since they're not designed to be taken out necessarily. This does void your warranty when you open this.
But of course,
so as with
anything else,
any good hack is guaranteed to void your warranty. Now, the next part you have to do is you have to bless the new drive from your old drive.
So what do we have set up here? Give me the
setup over here is the old drive is set up as source, the original, and the new drive is set up as the master. I'm sorry. Old drive is master, new drive is slave. So we're going to copy the system information over, the partition information over.
And that's on your second chain inside of your computer.
That's on the second chain, right, exactly. So this will only work on Windows 2000 or XP. There's also a Linux version. The program is called RTV Patch, and it's a SourceForge program. So when you take a look here, it sees there are two hard drives. One it sees as a replay disk, and the other is the big one here, the big daddy that I'm going to blast. 250 gigs. Right. That's right. Is going to be that's the new one. So what you have to do?
Explain to me what blessing is before you do this. I mean, as you're doing it, you can explain.
It's essentially it's specially formatting the new drive.
Special file system.
That's right.
Okay,
special partitions and some other information in there to make it all work. So the first thing you do is you choose your old one as the source and your new one as the target, and you can back up your original information. It's about 500 megs. You can burn it to a CD. That way you hang on to that. So you take that in your old hard drive and put it away.
I see. And it says copy impact. Can you also back up all the videos on there?
You can, but it doesn't always work. I don't recommend it.
Okay.
Just start clean. Just figure it's going to be a brand new drive. And then you copy the system partition. Do you really want to proceed? Yes. And that preps the new drive.
Okay.
Then step number 2, once you do that, is to patch the drive. Down here, there's a patch button. And you can also copy your photo partition over. I don't have
photos that you keep on there.
Photos to do it, exactly. And you hit the patch button, and yes, and it will patch it for me. And I'm not going to walk through this. I'm not going to screw up that drive. I say screw up. Sometimes it's hard to go back to Windows format.
It's running a real funky type of partition.
You can go back sometimes. Sometimes people have had problems. And then it takes literally less than 10 minutes to go through this process right here, maybe even 5 minutes.
What about after that? After you're done blessing the drive?
When you're done blessing the drive, you shut the machine down. You set your new drive, the new Big Daddy drive, to master and mount it back in your replay.
So just plug it back in.
Plug it back in.
Is that all there is to it?
That's all there is to it.
Really?
Put it all together and boot the replay. It'll do a bunch of configuration. It takes several minutes. Then it'll shut down, and then you turn it on one more time, and you have all this.
So you can really do this in about 20 minutes.
I did it in less than 20 minutes.
Nice.
Exactly.
Awesome.
Exactly. Cool. For step-by-step instructions that you must follow to the letter, you have to make sure you do it exactly like the step says. Check out my article at thescreensavers.com. You can also get links to these quick view drives. It's all there.
That's a great way to some cash. I'm going to buy one of these. $111.
$111.
That's cheap. Yep. Let's check in with Leo for a quick tip.
A little tip for you Macintosh terminal users now. If you're a Mac user and you want to create a little shell script to automatically back up your files, learn from my experience. You could do it all wrong. Turns out the Mac file system, especially old Mac files, have more information than the traditional Unix CP and tar commands support. Things like resource forks and creator and type data. If you back up files without that information, you may corrupt them and you may not be able to use them, and your backup will be bad. For a while I was using a little script using tar to take all the data in my mail folder, compress it into one file, and then I used gzip to squeeze it down. Worked fine until I had to restore that data, and suddenly I couldn't open my mail. Turns out I wasn't copying the resource forks. Very important on the Mac. Now, Apple has created a special Unix command just for you guys called Ditto. In fact, if you want to know more about Ditto, you should just open the terminal and type man Ditto. You'll get a whole lot of information about it. Ditto is a great little tool because it copies the resource fork and the type and creator data. So you see this Ditto command I put right here. This one works. The C in the Ditto command creates an archive file, a zip file out of it. K says use zip compression instead of the standard, which is CPIO. And then this is the most important part, this --RSRC. It says copy those resource forks, and then I could copy all the files in this mail data folder into a zip file and use it for a backup. If you're going to use the terminal to back up, and by the way, it's a great idea because you can use cron then to do it automatically. You don't have to think about it. You make automatic zipped backups, and you can rsync them then to an external folder. But you've got to use the Ditto command, not the CP or the tar command. Learn from my experience. Don't do as I do. Do as I say. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Leo. Coming up after the break, USB 1.1 is out and 2.0 is in. But can you upgrade it on your laptop? We'll tell you right after these messages.
Be sure to catch tomorrow's show. Why? Leo and FCC Chairman Michael Powell are going to take behind the scenes of the FCC. Sarah's going to show you how to customize your save as dialog box, and Yoshi's got some tips and tricks on power supplies you won't want to build a system without knowing. It's all coming up on tomorrow's edition of the Screensavers.
Now, Greg joins us on the phone from Cullowhee, North Carolina. Cullowhee? Greg?
We even close, Greg?
No, I'm way out on the East Coast in the mountains.
Okay.
North Carolina.
No. What are we even close in pronouncing the name of your town? Is it Cullowhee?
Yeah, you got it, Cullowhee.
Okay.
Small little college.
No, we're nowhere near you.
Not coast.
We're in San Francisco.
Yeah. Hey, so can we answer a tech question since geography?
Yeah, I've got a Dell Inspiron 8200.
Mm-hmm.
and I've got the two USB ports in the back. They're both 1.1, and I was wondering if there's any way I could upgrade those to USB 2.0.
The ports that are in the back of the system?
Any way at all. I've got the two card slots in the side as well.
Yeah, that's what you can.
Yeah.
You've got a PC card slot. You can add a USB 2.0 PC card adapter, kind of like this Wi-Fi adapter. But you're not going to be able to update the slots in the back of the system.
Not at all.
Nope. There's chips on there that control the USB spec, and they're not flash upgradable. It's you're not going to be able to do it. The only way to do it is with a card. But they're not that expensive either. I looked online and they're like 50, 60 bucks.
In fact, if you buy a kind of a no brandy one, you can pick them up for as little as 20 bucks.
Really?
There you go.
You can get them really cheap. What's that?
I said that sounds good.
Yeah. Are you going to use it for like an external hard drive, or what do you need?
That's exactly what I'm using it for. I've got an 80 gig external hard drive, and it's just kind of running slow with the 1.1.
It'll run a lot faster with the 2.0.
I've seen some other ones out. Also, just to let you know, you may want to look and see if there's ones that also have a FireWire/USB combo. There's some of those out there. That way, if you ever decide to have any FireWire devices, if you don't already have a FireWire port, you can have that all in one card.
Those tend to be bank.
They are a little more expensive, but if you ever decide to go down the road and decide to do any digital editing or hook up an external FireWire hard drive,
or
that's an option as well.
DV camera or something.
That's true.
Sound good, Greg?
Sounds excellent. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for the call, Greg.
Yep.
Now let's check in with Dan for a helpful tip.
Complete guide to command lines in XP. Well, if you do, Windows has a help file that describes them all. You'll be able to defrag, scan disk, and a whole lot more in no time. So what you need to do, click on Start and go to Run. And then from there, you need to go to this cwindows/help/ntcmds.chm. That's all in the show notes. Don't worry about that. You don't have to worry about it. Then just click on command line reference A to Z. And you'll see once you go through, there's tons of different command lines for your heart's desires. Lots of fun. Command line. Woo! Yeah. But anyways, there you are, because we're going to check our inbox. Final emails time. We're going to see what you're thinking about. All that when the screensavers continue.
Yes, I do. First question. This is from Clive in Ontario. He remembers the day that your iPod went blank, Kevin, and he says, what happened to those songs? Did they reappear?
It's funny because I took it home a few days later because I had to go to town and all this stuff, so I didn't get a chance to play with it right away. But when I hooked it up, it said that there was something was corrupt on the hard drive itself. So what I then did is I was actually able to browse the hard drive, and all my songs were there. It seems like the index file somehow was messed up, so it couldn't read. Yeah, it was mangled. It couldn't read exactly what was installed on the drive. I ended up having to reformat it completely with the Apple's utility that they have, and then I started from scratch, and it works fine now.
Wow. So
strange.
It's Common Cool Collective.
Yeah, just one of those weird things.
Which brings us to another question.
Yes, this one's from Chuck. Another iPod question. I'm wondering what the main difference is between the iPod and the iPod Mini besides size and the $50 difference.
And the fact that the early iPod Minis have had some issues.
Yeah, right. The big difference I have to say that I love most about the iPod Mini is I've had the previous generation iPod, and that this one is actually really scratch resistant. I haven't had one scratch on the glass or the casing itself.
Really?
So they've done something. They put a coating on there somehow, but zero scratches.
Because the ones with the chrome back, it gets all
completely scratched up.
It gets scratched up. It gets fingerprints. It gets nasty. The front of it gets scratched up. Of course, you've also been keeping your iPod Mini, I've noticed, in that little sweat sock felt contraption. Like every time you pull it out,
it's not
you go into your backpack and you like reach out and you undo this thing.
Well, I keep good care of my stuff. Don't do this to me on TV, Patrick.
You brought the thing out on TV.
I did. It's my little carrying case for it, and I happen to like it.
It looks like they may actually have them back in stock again, do they?
The iPod Minis? Yeah, they're starting to ship them again now. They were sold out for the longest time, but they're finally starting to get some back in.
Do you wish it had more capacity, or are you pretty good with that?
It has enough capacity.
Hey, look, ladies and gentlemen, in a black suit and shades, Leo Laporte working on audio. Yeah, we're doing a live show. What do you have in your hand there? I gotta ask. Leo's going to give away stuff to our audience. It's very nice of it. Sarah, let's get another email question, see if Leo wants to jump in on this one. Why not?
Any other surprises?
Hey, you never know. This is live TV.
Next one's from Kevin. I'm looking at getting a new laptop that will be primarily a desktop replacement. Is there any new hardware coming out in the near future that's going to cause a major price shift In other words, should I buy or wait?
Well, we've seen some gaming laptops on the show with the upgradable video cards. They're very expensive, very heavy.
And you know what? Gaming laptops are kind of a bad idea to begin with because it's like, you know, it's 11 pounds. You're not going to want to leave your house except to like carry it to a LAN party, set it down. Then you're going to be afraid somebody's going to steal it because it's like a $4,000.
And then Doom 3 comes out and it's no good anymore.
Yeah, and it's really, you know, if you're doing them for a desktop replacement like Photoshop and movie editing and web browsing and all that kind of stuff, you know what? You probably don't need one of those 11-pound notebooks. Anything with a Centrino processor and a half a gig of RAM should take care of it. The big ones, the really big desktop replacements, they're heavy and they don't do much more.
Yeah.
And they don't run that much faster. Because a lot of times they put a desktop processor in there and then you end up with no battery life. So, in any case, there's no major developments coming out in notebooks. The Dothan processors are out, which is the latest evolution of the Pentium.
Little bump up in speed.
Yeah, it's
nothing crazy though that we've seen lately.
Nah, nothing major, and you know you can go ahead and buy a system now. But I'd say, I shouldn't say we. I'd say go for something like a 600M or something that's a little lighter and a little more portable, because the desktop replacements are just heavy and they don't get good battery life and they don't run that much faster.
Very true.
Unless you want a game, in which case buy a 12-pound notebook.
Yep. Look at who's here.
So as you know, guys, it's Friday's the last day for Call for Help, so I'm going to a new business. And I just want everybody to know, screensavers buttons, any kind of screensavers tchotchkes, look for them on eBay. I'll be autographing them, selling them. Whatever you want. Old shirts,
Are you
shoes.
Will you be doing repair?
Woo! It's a
Repair?
very
Anything
nice
you want.
shoe.
Whatever you want, I'll do.
Leo, you know you are always welcome here.
What's with the glasses?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's like, who is this guy? Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for this edition of the Screensavers. I'm Patrick Norton.
And I'm Kevin Rose. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to thank our special guest, Britt Monroy and Mr. Leo Laporte.
Ladies and gentlemen.
There's only one award show for gamers, G4ia, where wondrous celebs, heavenly bands, and gaming's biggest awards come together in a paradise for players. Check out this year's nominees in The Road to G4ia.